What up guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Eddie Bear and today we're going to talk about the new DJI Mavic Air. Let's kick off this conversation by talking about the naming convention of the new Mavic Air. So obviously DJI decided to name this drone Mavic Air, so it means it's kind of like in the Mavic category, but if you take a closer look on the tech specs, you will notice that this drone is kind of like a love child between the Spark and the Mavic Pro. Since the differences between the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro are actually so huge, I decided to split this review into two episodes. So in the first episode, I will cover the whole unboxing of the Mavic Air Fly More combo. And I will also compare the physical parts and the most obvious optical differences between the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro Platinum. But before we get to the unboxing of the Mavic Air Fly More combo, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also make sure to check out my website eddie-bear.com to see the fully written articles about my review. So without further ado, let's get unboxing. Alright guys, today we take a look at the Spark Plus, Mavic Air Fly More combo in Arctic White. By the way, this video also includes a little goodie from Polar Pro, so make sure to watch this episode all the way to the end. Alright, so let's take a look inside this little one here. Okay, so from this view I already can tell you that the new bag is looking dope. This new fabric is really amazing. I really like the feel of it. It's kind of like a jeans kind of fabric, so really good. Okay, then we have a hard case here. The hard case is naturally containing the little new Mavic Air. Okay, so the Mavic Air is really tiny. I like the form factor and the build quality of this one. I thought this one would be metal, but it's still a plastic, but still really nice though. Okay, so let's start with the feet. First you have to unfold the rear feet. Then just pull the front feet. And don't forget to unfold the little feet in the front also, because those feet in the front are actually carrying extra antennas for the Mavic Air, so this will actually increase the radio quality with your drone. So here's the Gimbal Unlock, push those two in, pull it up, and you already revealed the 3-axis gimbal. Looking way more sturdy. I wish the Mavic Pro would actually have such a gimbal. I guess we will know by March whether the new Mavic 2 will have such a gimbal too. This is really way sturdier than the one on the Mavic, on the first legacy Mavic. And it's way easier to mount the gimbal lock back onto it, so it's not like you have to fiddle around with the little clamps and stuff. So really dig this. And also the battery, just pull it and you can unlock the battery. Also, if you wanted to put it back in, just push it and it automatically locks itself. And if it's not locked completely, you can see it here by the red indicator that the battery is actually still unlocked. So if you pull this lid in the back of the Mavic Air, you will see that here is the Microsd slot, and also DJI decided to finally step away from the micro USB, so they equipped the Mavic Air with a USB-C. As you can see here, the Microsd slot in the Mavic Air is actually empty, and they started to implement an 8 GB storage within the drone in case if you leave your SD card at home. And let's face it, nobody was using 16 GB SD cards. Because if you're recording 4K, this card will be like filled in about 10 minutes or so. So if you want to use the full potential of the Mavic Air, you would have used a bigger card anyway. but still it's a nice thing to have an internal storage in case you've lost or forget your SD card. So since the Mavic Air is a love child between the Spark and the Mavic Pro, the Mavic Air also has sensors on the back, on the bottom, and also on the front. So we'll be testing the object avoidance in this little one here. I'm actually quite surprised by the build quality of the Mavic Air, and I wish they would have made those wings foldable. It would have made the whole packing process way easier, but still the case that they included with the Mavic Air is really a nice addition. So let's throw it back in and let's take a look what's also inside the box. Okay, so here's another big one, including a ton of paper rope and also the propeller guards we already knew from the Spark. I guess most of us will not be using those, but still they are included, so I guess you can fly the Mavic Air indoors. Okay, so now let's take a closer look into the new portable shoulder bag of the DJI Mavic Air. So what's in here? Okay, so here we have a little accessory bag. We have also a USB adapter for the batteries, so you can use the batteries as a power bank. We have the additional cables as we already know them from the other DJI drones. We have a USB-C adapter to micro USB, and here are actually the little sticks for your controller. So this is a big plus for DJI because they also included a USB-C to USB-A cable, so you will not have to go out and buy a new cable when you buy the Mavic Air. And also you receive 2 additional sets of propellers with the Mavic Air. So next up is the controller. So as you can see, the controller comes without any joysticks attached, so you will need to screw those in. And if you open up the controller, you will notice that they placed the joystick heads in here. So this will make packing your Mavic Air way easier. And the only thing you need to do is to take them out and screw them in here. So let's talk about these little sticks here for a moment. As you've seen, I dropped this stick the first time I ever had it in my hand, and this is because they are so tiny and flimsy and they are pretty much made to be lost. So I already read in the forums that there are actually already people out there that lost those sticks. So if you're on the go, make sure to grab them really tightly and don't mount them over, I don't know, stuff that they can fall in. So make sure to mount them in your car or wherever it's safe to mount them, and you will find them if you drop them. Okay, so if you are used to the Mavic Pro, this is a bit weird that they replaced the whole display thingy with, well, just a plastic lid. Also, you have the antenna as you know it. You have the trigger button as you know it from the Spark, a little wheel on here, and they also got rid of the custom keys on the back. So this controller is pretty much the controller as we know it from the Spark, aside from the detachable joysticks that you have stored in here. Now we need to talk about the controller here for a bit. So I know and I understand why they decided to go with the pretty much Spark controller from a production standpoint, but let's face it, if you are naming a product Mavic, you should use the Mavic's controller. I know they operate in different frequencies and whatnot, and these are Wi-Fi, these are not, but still the ability to use the 5D stick in the front or the custom keys in the back, or even just to adjust your brightness settings with the help of a wheel is really a huge improvement when it comes to flying your drone on your own. And there are more things to it. I will explain them in the next episode when we go into the picture styles and what they decided not to implement with the Mavic Air. So there is still more to it, but it's way too much to cover it in this episode. So make sure to check out the next episode as soon as it is available. Okay, so what do we also have in here? Wow, this is really well organized. I'm kind of surprised by this. This little brick here actually is the multiple charger. So you just have to pull those lids up and here you go. You can charge 4 batteries as you know it from all the other Mavics out there. So here's your power brick. Plug the cord back in here. And there you have it. This is actually a really slick design for the charger. The old Mavic Pro charger is a huge pain because it takes up way too much space, and this one is really portable, so I really dig this. I hope they take this design to the Mavic too. Also, of course, we have the power plug. Also, you receive 2 additional batteries with the Mavic Air, and as you can see, they are pretty much depleted here. Also, this bag has a huge compartment in the back. So as you can see, this is a really big bag and you can place a lot of stuff in here. You also have little satchels here. So this is really a big improvement on the shoulder bag. Also in the front there is an additional slot, but there is nothing in there. Alright, so now let's talk size here for a moment. So from a dimensional standpoint, the Mavic Air is a bit smaller than the Mavic Pro. The biggest difference of the Mavic Air compared to the Mavic Pro is actually the height of the drone, as you can see here in this side shot. So if you're taking a look on the Mavic Air as it is sitting on top of the Mavic Pro, you will see that it is way smaller than the Mavic Pro. So in terms of size, this means that the Mavic Air actually takes up about 35 centimeters, and actually the Mavic Pro needs something around 54 centimeters of space. Also, another huge change that has been introduced with the Mavic Air is the way how the Mavic actually is handling filters. So we know from the Mavic Pro and the Mavic Pro Platinum that you only need to stick your filters on top of your gimbal. But with the Mavic Air, they decided to make it more reliable, and you don't have the option to like misplace the filter on the gimbal or maybe drop it or push too hard and damage your gimbal. So they decided to put a threaded filter system on the front of your gimbal. This also has a huge implication if you bought filters in the past, because your old Mavic Pro filters will not fit the Mavic Air. So this means you will have to get new filters, whether from Polar Pro or someone else. In order to show you how the new filter system of the Mavic Air actually works, my friends from Polar Pro were kind enough to supply me with one of the first filter sets they ever released for the Mavic Air. So let's take a closer look how it works. DJI improved the way how they handle filters. So here on the front you now have a little ring that you can unscrew. In order to make it loose, you have to screw it counterclockwise to make it come off. And there is actually no glass in here, so see, nothing in there. Now you take your new Polar Pro filter, take it out of the box and screw it on to your camera. Polar Pro's filters also have a nice side effect. If you ever hit something, they will protect your lens. As you can see, there is a huge physical difference between the new Mavic Air and the legacy Mavic Pro or the Mavic Pro Platinum. So there is way more change when it comes to the software side of the new Mavic Air. But as I told you in the beginning, this episode would get way too long if I get into all the new software details. And trust me, recording sides, there is a huge difference between the two drones. I'm really pumped to show you all the differences between the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro. And in order not to miss it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you will get notified as soon as I post the next episode of this review. So with that said, what is your first impression of the Mavic Air? Is it a drone you would consider, or are you even thinking of selling your Mavic Pro and getting a new Mavic Air? Or would you rather wait for the Mavic 2 that allegedly will be announced in March 2018? So hit me up in the comments and tell me about what you think about DJI's new drone policy and if you would ever take the money and buy yourself a new Mavic Air. Thank you for watching, and I'm hoping to see you in the next episode when we talk about all the software stuff here. So see you next time.